What is up, guys, and welcome back to a brand new video. Today we are back for episode number 25 of the F1 2020 Career Mode series. In today's episode we're choosing 3 brand new sponsors. At least we have the option to renew 3 brand new sponsors. For the most part, I'm actually pretty happy with what we've got. But one new one we're going to go for is Sudo, which is achieve a fast lap in any session. That's something we've been doing consistently over the last 5-6 rounds at least in practice 1, so that's a no-brainer. But I'm weighing up my options just so I can maximize the amount of I was going to say resource points, but resources I can bring in that in the way of money. Another one we're going to renew is the Mosquito Company, Zanzer. Get a podium in a race, and that's a tasty 558k bonus. Jeez, we're already going downhill. In the comments, can you let me know what you think of the microphone? I've put a massive, and I mean massive, foam covering over it. Hopefully the mic will be less distorted now. Big shout out to Tom97 who recommended that. But hopefully it's better. We'll find out in due course. And as always, we're going to sign with Alkene's Energy. I love their branding, and I want to stay loyal to those guys and continue to, I don't know, pioneer new flavors of energy drinks in the world of Formula 1. What concoction will they come up with this week? We'll have to wait and find out. But anyway, if you're new around here, do subscribe and leave a like on the video. I think we're nearing on 1 million subscribers now. We've only got 493,000 to go. Come on, guys, let's get there at the end of the week. Imagine. Anyway, yeah, we're playing around with the sponsors. I'm gonna play a little bit with the livery again today. I've got a livery on the way from Sevi, my thumbnail and graphics guy, and it looks pretty good. We're gonna have some real sponsors going on as well very, very soon, and I may or may not be having my real life helmet incorporated into the game, so I'm very, very excited about that. Anyway, resources, and we're gonna divert some to the aero side, rear downforce. That'll hopefully be on in time for the race after this one, and we'll see hopefully a massive boost to the aero side. If we can get the front and rear major upgrade on the car, that'll be potentially game changing for us. But yeah, activities have been assigned. We'll hopefully get some good stuff coming in there. We've got an invitational event which is awkwardly placed between the last race and this one. So let's quickly knock that out now. A casual 150 grand and 1,000 driver acclaim if we can do so. Could this be potentially our audition for Ferrari? The last time I actually tested a Ferrari on an F1 racetrack, that wasn't on an F1 weekend. I got approached by Ferrari to be their second driver, but then I signed with Toyota, so that was fun. Let's never do that again. Anyway, this test has been rather successful. We just have to overtake 10 cars and collect the cash money. I suppose we're about 1 million years faster than everyone else on circuit. But hey, that is the nature of an overtake challenge. We're going to take it really easy to get Lawson here. Out of the exit of the final corner. I don't even think she's pressing full throttle there, and that is easy slaps there. 150k. Thank you very much. I like that. I like that the invitational events actually mean something in this year's game. I actually do them. I do them all. I'm a sucker for getting driver acclaim. What can I say? But weekly resources coming in. Casual 1.6 mil. We'll probably spend a little something on the facilities in this episode. We also had an engine upgrade come in. That was for the pistons, so a boost in engine performance heading into this race, which is much needed because Hanoi has a massively long back straight. So let's hope to overtake some guys with that. For the first time this season, we're doing a durability upgrade. That was for the turbo, and I think this season durability is going to take a bit of a priority in terms of upgrading. Now here's that livery change that I promised. I went all purple for the start of the weekend, but then I thought, nah, let's black it out a little bit more. We tried the frosted look in the last episode. Now we're going with more black, and I kind of like it. It will be a similar look to what we'll run with the new livery. It'll be mainly purple and black, and I can't wait for you guys to see it, as well as the new helmet, which I haven't seen yet, but we will do in due course. It's time for quali. So here we are then for qualifying of the Vietnam Grand Prix. I actually did change my helmet as well coming into this. I just changed the detail from yellow to red just for something a little bit different. I kind of like it, and I kind of felt like we were due a change. I didn't change the helmet heading into this season, and that was mainly because I knew that a major change was coming anyway. Didn't know what I was going to do. I was kind of waiting for a good helmet to pop up on the old F1 store. But it's not there. Like, there's no. I feel like the helmets are a little underwhelming this year on this game. I feel like the best one that there is the one that I'm rocking, to be honest. And it's all right. It's not amazing. No, it's good. It's good. I liked it when I put it on. But now I'm feeling for something new. And thank goodness Sevi is hooking me up with my own helmet from real life. But anyway, Q1, we negotiated through that only just, much like the last round, we only just scraped through into the next session. Not the cleanest run. Definitely could have done a better lap. But as always is the case, the field is so close in the midfield. A couple of mistakes and you can pay big time. And we nearly did. Again, 200s clear of not making it out of Q1. So I'm just grateful to be out of Q1, to be honest, and not knocked out like we were in round 1. That was embarrassing. We fast forward time to the end of Q2. Again, we only have one set of tyres to utilize in this session. Carlos Sainz is stranded on the circuit. That's actually the pit exit. I saw yellow lights up on my Fanatec wheel when I was fast forwarding the session. I was like, hang on, what's going on here? So I thought I'd pop out of the pit lane to investigate, but as soon as I come out, he disappears. So I've just gone out and done an outlap, wasted 3 minutes of my time for nothing. But regardless, we're gonna handle the tire warm up ourselves and gear up for our lap. This is the end of the lap now. A couple of mistakes, to be honest. Again, I seem to fumble the bag a little bit when I have just that one lap at the end of the session. Happened last race. It's happened again here. But I think it was more pronounced this time. I really made a meal of the third sector. You saw that lock up into the second to last corner, and we were miles off. 4/10 shy of making it through into the next session. 6/10 shy of my teammate George Russell. It's just not good enough. And I don't know if the setup was amazing for the circuit. I felt like I was lacking downforce, which is something of a rarity. I feel like we're really strong in the downforce department, but for some reason I was just lacking. So that's an area we will hopefully address in a couple races' time with the upgrades. But it's time for the race.
The Formula One circus has arrived in Southeast Asia once more as we usher in a new era and get ready to go racing here in Vietnam. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and it's Valtteri Bottas that completes the front row. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Vettel, Max Verstappen and Ricciardo, Albon, Russell, Ocon and Lance Stroll, Norris, Perez, Daniel Kvyat, Day, Magnussen, Giovinazzi, Nick de Vries and Nicholas Latifi. Matsushita, Sainz, they've taken a grid penalty. Schumacher and Pierre Gasly picks up the final grid slot today. Now, it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Now that we've got some points on the board, let's continue this form and aim for another top 10 finish.
Oh man, as if Carlos Sainz's day couldn't get any worse. He put in a decent time in Q2, got stuck in the pit lane, and then got disqualified from qualifying, and then on top of that he got a grid penalty, so he's starting pretty much last. But anyway, here we are for the Vietnam Grand Prix. We're going to lower some fuel load, and we're probably going to go for a medium soft compound tire strategy, which is the strategy we tried to pull off last season, except reverted. We started on soft, tried to finish on medium. We had absolutely no pace at the end of the Grand Prix, and we were struggling to get to the end, and it ended pretty catastrophically. This season, I'm pretty confident we can pull it off. At worst, we'll do a two-stop, but we'll see how it all goes. 5 red lights, and off we go for the second iteration of this Grand Prix. 2 times in the virtual world, and still not a murmur of this race coming back in real life. Either way, shocking start heading into turn 1. Latifi grabbed about half a dozen places there, so he's absolutely taken that P12 and ran with it. I am oversteering like Bambi on ice, because Bambi definitely has 4 wheels and car characteristics. Yep, that's a thing. Just allow it, fam. Anyway, it is P17 for us so far in this Grand Prix. Not the start I was looking for. Everyone around me on soft compound tyres. We are buried in the field in terms of track position and on the slower tyre. And I gotta say, the car feels like rubbish at the start of this Grand Prix. A lot of understeer on corner approach, and then on exit we got oversteer. So it's just the dream balance you want. Giovinazzi getting caught up on the back of Danny Kvyat on the back straight. Thank you everyone for the correct pronunciation of that one in the comments. Kvyat goes for a nice little lunge there into the hairpin. Nearly got Magnussen, not quite. He has to bide his time for now as we get a massive bout of wheel spin there on the exit of the hairpin. P16 for us. Looks like Danny went in a little bit too fast into that hairpin, clattered into the side of Magnussen and has front wing damage, so he boxes early for what I would assume could be a set of hard compound tyres. Could he stretch that to the end of the Grand Prix? Maybe, if they've got good tyre wear upgrades like us. But we're under pressure here from Giovinazzi. He's going to have a look up the inside into the roundabout section. Hopefully no Tokyo Drift music starts initiating. It does not. And we are able to press on with the rest of our race. Here comes Carlos Sainz, the unlucky man of Saturday qualifying. He is looking to make amends in the race on Sunday, but let's hopefully keep him behind if we can. One thing that really helps us this season is the engine power. It makes life a lot more easy. We don't have to defend so much into braking zones and stuff, and it just means that we can get on with our race. We get up the inside of the fast starting Latifi. He is now falling back down to earth as everyone settles into this Grand Prix. Next train of cars involves Lewis Hamilton, who is nursing some kind of problem in this Grand Prix. Don't know what it is. It doesn't look like it's front wing. A lot of people just getting mystery problems in recent episodes of career mode. And when people do get problems, it kind of lingers around for the whole race. I've noticed it doesn't really fix it. It doesn't fix itself like it would on previous games. So, yeah, it's very unlucky if you do get plagued with a problem. Thankfully, we haven't yet so far. I've heard horror stories of you guys saying you've had straight up gearbox failures or random spikes of wear. I did have that one stage last season. Thankfully, we haven't seen that since. But, yeah, it can be a real nightmare out there as we go all the way around the outside. Not 1, 2, but 3 cars into the hairpin. And believe it or not, we actually make it stick. We get past Norris, Hamilton, and someone else. I don't even know who it was. I think it was the Alfa Romeo of Kevin Magnussen. I had to think for a second there, but this is possibly the greatest overtake I've made all season, if not maybe my entire career. All the way around the outside of everybody. Hamilton nursing his problem, and then the McLaren of Norris just getting tangled up. We somehow miss Norris. We go all the way around the outside, punch it with a nice exit, and 3 positions in 1 corner. Thank you very, very much. I'm off to go buy a lottery ticket after this race is over because I am the luckiest man on earth. And, well, we'll see if that luck continues now as we follow Ocon and Stroll. Don't feel so lucky anymore as these guys are holding us up quite a bit. The next group of cars are getting away. I hate it when AI runs side by side through here because they never really sort it out. People are just... they're too friendly. They leave too much space. They just drag out the battle way too long than what it needs to be, and you end up losing seconds. If it was me in that position, hello Bottas. If it was me in that position, you need to savagely just squeeze them out into the barrier and end the battle early so that you both can get on with the race. But here comes Norris. He is absolutely raging after losing the position to me and Hamilton. But will he go for a dive? No, he does not. Thank you, Landobot. And I'll be seeing you later for maybe another video. Keep an eye out for one more. I've got a backwards Monaco race with Lando. I might put that up tomorrow, so keep an eye out on the channel for that one. It was probably the best one of the lot. But anyway, we fly past Stroll. Bottas next. He's freshly come out of the pit lane on his medium compound tyres, which means he is committing to a 2-stop. So it's going to be an interesting race today with split strategies, doing the 1 or the 2-stop. I think that doing the one stop, at least in our car, is going to be beneficial. We can utilize the straight line speed of our Ferrari power unit to stay in front of cars. That's going to be a legitimate strategy that I'm going to utilize today, and we'll see if we can make that work for us. Lap 9, my teammate still hasn't come into the pit lane yet, so I'm thinking he's doing a one stop, and maybe, just maybe, he's going to use the 2 softer compounds like I am, because George is on the soft compound tires, and he could probably run mediums to the end if he really wanted to, if he wanted to stretch it. That was a horrible run out of that first sector for me. Vettel absolutely flies past. I was so confused as to how much momentum, how he was able to get that momentum, but looking at it from Vettel's POV, I just made an absolute meal of the corner. So that is an area of the track where I really need to fix that up. I think I need to make a later apex, turn in a bit later, and it doesn't help that I'm on old tires. I will say that these medium tires feel absolutely horrible, and I could have been sucking into stopping early and committing to the 2-stop, going softs twice to the end of the Grand Prix. But something just told me that this was the right strategy. I had to stick with this, even though the tires felt like absolute garbage. You can see we follow Verstappen through after he overtook me. We re-overtake him around the outside into the hairpin, and somehow we out-traction him. That shouldn't be happening. That really shouldn't be happening on a car that is faster than us, on better tires, softer tires. The AI needs some work. It really needs some work now. This is going on for far too long. It's a bit silly. But anyway, Verstappen does get us. Again, we bottle that section. We really do need to get off these tires. But I'm doing my best. I'm hanging out there. I'm still staying in the slipstream of Verstappen. We're not losing any positions here. We are losing time. But we're not falling back any further in this Grand Prix. We're potentially going to be fighting these guys for position, because Verstappen needs to stop again, Ricciardo needs to stop again, I need to stop again. So it's all even. I've overshot the corner, Verstappen gets back through, and I think this time it will be for keeps, as he was able to run through the 3rd sector without any dirty air, without me in the way, essentially, and he's off. He's off and bolted for the rest of this race, potentially. Here goes Ricciardo. I don't think this battle is over just yet. We can, as long as we're close through this roundabout section, we've got the massive back straight coming up, and where you guys can see, you've seen it all race how fast we are in a straight line. We showed proof of that in Bahrain as well. But coming into this episode, we brought an engine upgrade, so we are OP as hell right now on this back straight. Around the outside, we utilize the more flowing run of the racing line, and we're able to stay in front. This just must be so frustrating for all of our competitors. The Alfa Romeo strategy, you love to see it. You know, I saw those guys frustrating the hell out of me last season. I thought, I want a piece of that pie, and now we are dealing that out to everyone in Season 2. Oh, you love to see it. Here goes Ricciardo. He gets me once again, but unfortunately for him, he got me in the wrong part of the circuit, because the back straight quickly followed. We fly back past him with DRS, and once again, Ricciardo is left to... Oh my goodness, he's actually hit us there into the hairpin. I was going to say Ricciardo is left to follow behind us in our wake, but he takes matters into his own hands, gives us a bit of a bump and run, and now he has the track position heading into that crucial 3rd sector, and he is home and clear now in P4. So, goodbye Ricciardo, it was nice knowing you. We're getting to our pit window now. I might stop on this lap. I saw that George did 10 laps at the start of the race on his qualifying tyre on soft compounds. So I think finishing off the race, we could probably do 11 laps. But you never know. I might stretch it one more and just play it extra safe to get to the end of the Grand Prix. I don't want to run out of tyres like I did last year. That was a disaster. So let's avoid that. So no, we're coming in this lap. Forget everything I ever said. Yeah, it makes sense. George did 10 laps on... a heavy car, and qualified on that tyre. We can easily do 11 at the end of the Grand Prix on a lighter car. So here we go, into the lane now. Softs are going on. It's Renault v Marduk Motorsport. Renault comes out on top. He was a few seconds up the road, to be fair, so it was always going to be difficult to rejoin in front of them. But Ricciardo is the aim. Verstappen maybe, if we can push for a really good result in this Grand Prix. But we're on level footing now with everyone, if not maybe even faster than those around us, because our competitors doing 2 stops used their soft compound tyres in the first 2 stints, and now they're either running mediums or hards to get to the end of the Grand Prix. Giovinazzi is the exception as we fly past Stroll and into the points in this... Catching my breath here for a second. In this Vietnam Grand Prix. Purple to the middle sector. And we're just going to fast forward for this next lap or so. Just so you can see the inroads that we make on Daniel Ricciardo here. No corner cuts, no funny business. This is legitimate pace that we are utilizing and catching him at the right moment. We just got DRS in that first DRS zone in the first sector. And now we're catching him at the perfect moment to overtake and get DRS ourselves. So this will hopefully be the springboard that we need to maybe get the fastest lap of the Grand Prix overall for the rest of this race. I believe the leaders don't have soft compound tires on. So this is our chance to get a bonus point in this race if we can. Russell is a few seconds up the road and he's on the hards. So we're going to have a massive, absolutely ginormous pace advantage over him. So let's follow on board for the rest of this lap as we go through the third sector. This was one of the only times in the whole weekend where I actually felt like I had some decent downforce and momentum and flow through this section of the track. The rest of the time, it really just felt like I was lacking pace and was just holding on for the ride, trying to do the best job I could with a compromised setup. But I tell you what, fresh tyres, felt amazing. Fast start of the Grand Prix, it wasn't purple. That does prove that the setup was geared more towards overtaking and straight line speed, more so than what it was maximizing that third sector. And I think it's been a good balance because we've been able to hold on to some good track position. We've been able to overtake many cars in this Grand Prix. We get past our teammate, overshoot the corner, but we got the move done anyway. We got miles more grip than what Russell does, and he's unable to mount our counter-attack into the third sector. And there we go, into P6 in this Vietnam Grand Prix. It's now becoming apparent to me, as we can see George getting overtaken by Ricciardo, he drops the P8, that the medium compound tyre isn't a great race tyre, and this kind of harps back to why I felt like crap at the start of the race. The medium tyre is just, it felt like a hard compound tyre, to be honest. It just felt very understeery and it wasn't offering very much. We put on the soft compound tyre and we've absolutely come alive in this Grand Prix. And to go with that, it hasn't really felt like the tyre wear of this compound hasn't been too bad either. So, a bit of a weird one in terms of the tyres. I did think George Russell was in a very strong position at the start of this race, doing 10 laps on his soft. And being so far in front of me, I was very worried for the rest of the race. But it just seems like the soft was a very versatile tyre for the circuit. Maybe the FIA or, I don't know, the compounds are too hard for this circuit. Because, yeah, the soft was able to run for a long time, and George, on the other side of the garage, didn't do a great job. He should have gone on to the mediums. He could have easily gone to the end of the Grand Prix. Hards was an overkill, and he's had no pace ever since. But it's a shame. You live and you learn. Hopefully he'll still pick up a couple of points and keep the tally rolling along for Marduk Motorsport. It's the last lap of the Grand Prix. I was closing in on Verstappen over the last 5 laps or whatever. But on this last one, the pace difference between the two just kind of leveled out. And if anything, the medium compound tyre was better on Verstappen's car on the last lap. So he stretched out a little bit. But Vettel wins the Vietnam Grand Prix by only a handful of seconds over Valtteri Bottas. So a very close affair there. For us, it's going to be P5. Amazing turnaround from qualifying, where seemingly we didn't have much pace. I'll take it.
That's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Fermé.
Talk to me, Ants. What was it that set them apart from the competition today?
Well, this was a real team victory. They put together a solid strategy today that appeared well suited to the conditions out on track. The driver did everything that was expected of them in the moment to really execute the team's plan to perfection. A shining example of how F1 really is a team sport.
And here we are, a team that is no stranger to the podium, taking their place on top once again. A sublime race today, and a stunning win for Ferrari.
Very interesting. Ferrari are winning races, yet Mercedes are so far ahead in the performance index. It is very confusing. We'll have to have a look at the strategies for the Ferraris. They did a one-stop, so much like us, one-stop proven to be king here in Vietnam. And all the two-stoppers lost a lot of positions. I look at Charles Leclerc, one stop. Myself, one stop P5. Sergio Perez did pretty well. Then you compare the two stoppers. Ricciardo, Albon, Ocon, Hamilton, Stroll. No, he didn't one stop. Pretty much all of those guys who did two stoppers went backwards. So, yeah, not the strategy to be on. And I probably did some people some favors by holding up the likes of Verstappen, Hamilton, Ricciardo, etc. I was trying to get my teammate Russell back into the game later on. But, no, it wasn't really to be. Russell had shocking pace in the second half of the race. I don't know what happened there. I feel like maybe he even had damage or something. He just didn't come back at us. And we were able to pull away from him so much. We gapped him by 10 seconds by race end. So, bit of a head scratcher. George had a brilliant time in the first race at Albert Park. And since then, it's been a little more shaky. He has had some problems. But let's hope that he can get it together for the next one. We still maintain third in the Constructors' standings, which is all you can really ask for. Marduk Motorsport doing an absolute worldie there. But guys, that has been this episode for today. The Vietnam Grand Prix in Hanoi. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel if you're new to see plenty more racing game content. We had some pretty wild moments there, didn't we? The amazing overtake on Hamilton, Ricciardo, Norris, etc. And then just battling to find our way back through the pack on the softs. That was pretty good. I really enjoyed that. But resources wise, we get 700k, no damage deductions. And George actually looks like he did have some damage in the end there. So that might explain why his lack of pace potentially at the back end of the race. Maybe he was carrying front wing damage all race and didn't change into the pit stop or something. I don't know. But I guess it's pretty easy to assume that he might have got damage in the second half of the race where he was a little bit slower on hard compound tires. People might have been overtaking him, and somewhere along the way, battling someone could have picked up a bit of damage, which is very unfortunate. How's that move from Latifi at turn 1? That's audacious. That was Tiametmarduk season 1. When you know that you've got a bad car, you got to make the most of it at turn 1 to even have half a chance of getting some points. Thankfully, we don't need to yeet it anymore on lap 1. But that said, I probably will at some point. I just spotted an Alpha Tauri losing their front wing. Yeah, that was Kvyat who pitted on the first lap, of course. But anyway, that's it from me today. We've got some major aerodynamic upgrades on the way. Hopefully they do go on the car. And if they do, it's going to be an absolute game changer. As well, we've got a big boost of resource points coming out of this race. So I feel like we're on the up here in Marduk Motorsport in Season 2. Hopefully we can take the fight more regularly to Red Bull. Who else? Renault. Anyone else? It would be nice for me to just get out of Q2 and into the third part of qualifying without it being too much of a struggle. But we can't have everything, can we? Either way, thank you so much for watching. Sorry for waffling so much. Let me know what you think about the mic situation. Probably sounds the exact same. In that case, F my life. No, not really. Anyway, until the next one, I'll see you next time.